The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood Redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Success is the new black, featuring in-depth interviews with today's top businessmen and women. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood Redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, Success is the New Black.
I always like my music to just play for a minute. Yeah, there we go.
You picked this song?
Yeah, of course I did. I like for it to ride just a little bit. You know how we do.
This is like a good song to ride in your truck
song.
to
Yes.
on a Friday.
We do classic music though.
Do you?
I mean, we play classic music all day. It's hot.
Oh my God.
I love it. Yeah.
Another perfect day in Southern California. Listen to some Ice Cube. You know how we do it. But once again, this is Success is the New Black on Black Hollywood Live. I am Rome Moore, your host, being joined, of course, by the beautiful Miss English Cleveland.
Hey
How are you doing?
everyone, good. It's a good Friday again.
Yeah, it's
warm outside, sunny California, 81 degrees in the valley. And we are joined by the amazing chef and owner, Greg King.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm great today.
We're so glad that you're
Yeah.
here with us. We're
Yes.
jamming.
I came to work today and there's a gigantic Postcards food truck outside and it said home of soul rap
Right.
on the
That's us.
outside. And so my first question, man, is where's the food?
The food. You know what? When we got here, we said we should have brought samples. We
Yeah,
didn't even
man.
think about it, Doug.
See,
You know, we got some great food though, so we can bring you some later.
Cool. That works. That
We
works.
can still
man.
hook you up.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so man, going through your bio,
Yes.
you're the son of a chef.
That's correct.
What kind of food did your father cook?
My father, my dad, is kind of classically trained, everything. But for years, he did like all types of international cuisine, from Thai to, so it was Asian and European and soul food. But his roots are soul food because my parents are from Augusta, Georgia.
Okay,
Oh.
that's what I was
They
wondering.
did the real deal.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama originally,
you
so
know.
I know. Yeah. Now, what I find more so interesting about you
Yeah.
is that, and I definitely want to talk more about your influence about your father and how you picked up things.
Totally.
But you run a Central American soul food truck.
Yeah, it's fusion soul. Basically, I was in a relationship, and for holidays, we would come together and cook. And, it was Belizean and American soul. And the food combinations just came together so well until I was like, this makes a lot of sense. And so I wanted to kind of keep that happening in developing and launching my truck.
Cool.
So that's how it all came together. And I think, it makes sense. And I think that it's, been doing pretty well. Mm-hmm. Well, I know it's been doing pretty well.
What was your first? It has. I've seen so many good reviews on it. We'll get
Thank
to
you.
that later. But what was your first dream? Did you know that you wanted to become a food truck owner, or where's your first passion?
Well, I will say this. When I was a kid, my parents owned 2 restaurants here in Southern California. But it was soul food. It was traditional African-American soul food. And, their restaurants the first one did extremely well. The second one, it was a little different. And I always knew that I wanted to own a food business one day.
Okay.
And the timing just kind of made sense when I launched Postcards. And over time I want to expand, but yeah, so I always had a passion for food.
Why the truck? Why? And you said your father owned 2
restaurants, yeah.
Right, so that's brick and mortar, and
Yes.
you decided to go away from that route. Why choose the truck instead?
It's funny. There's an event that happens at the LA Central Library every month, whatever. It's called Allowed. And I was looking at a franchise venture. So I was looking at possibly buying into various franchise businesses. So more business services. And after kind of reviewing different options, I went to this One Allowed event where Roy Choi was speaking with Ludo, who does all these pop-up restaurants. And they were talking about the food truck business and how Roy Choi launched his Koji trucks and so forth. And I started asking a number of questions, and I was like, and in the market, I asked Roy, in the market, what's missing? And he said more that Caribbean soul thing. And I was like, and it kind of sparked something in me. And a few months later, I started writing the business plan and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I did my research regarding the food truck, and it just made sense. Everything fell into place. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start with this food truck and ultimately venture out into something else, ultimately brick and mortar. But I wanted to start there.
Okay.
And it's been a good ride.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to worry about rent, obviously. First off. Yeah, and you have the advantage of mobility.
Totally.
You can go to where the crowds are.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. What are your hot nights?
Usually the weekends are popping. The weekends are by far the best times for us. You can get out any Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday night, and it really makes a lot of sense. We do quite well. Okay. Yeah, so weekends are definitely the nights because there's hot events happening on the weekend.
Yeah.
People want to get out and get some different, varieties of food.
Right. So where does the name Postcards come from?
You know what? My background is marketing and branding, and I didn't want it to be Greg's Soul Food Truck.
Okay.
I wanted it to really be something that resonated with people, where they just kind of said, you know what? If I'm looking for a truck, I want to go out there and find something that it's a unique name. It's a different name. So Postcards initially started as this marketing concept where traditionally what I was doing is producing these postcards. And the postcards would feature the artwork of local urban artists. On the front and on the back, it promoted our menu and it promoted the truck itself. And over time, the name has really just kind of picked up, and people are like, when they look for us, they're like, I'm just looking for postcards.
Yeah.
I have people who tweet and they're like, where is Postcards today? And so it connects with people, and I think it just makes sense. But it was just something that was organic that I thought was cool, and I thought it was going to be a great marketing tool. And I think it has become
It's
that.
a great name because it's like just like you get a postcard and you mail it, it travels.
Exactly.
And you're traveling.
Yeah.
And
Carries the name.
and you carry.
I like that. I might have to use that.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I thought. That's what I was like.
Yeah.
My mom's like, "What is the truck called? Have we seen it?" I'm like, "It's called Postcards." She was like, "Why?" I was like, "Maybe because it travels. It's a food truck."
I love that.
You remember.
Yeah.
You
You
can't forget that
definitely
name.
remember it. Yeah.
And that's what's really been key. It's people remember the name. It's hard to forget it when you've got this bevy of all these other trucks that really focus on their food. Ours is a brand. It's
Right.
and so people remember.
So were you a kid in the kitchen cooking?
I was. I started
were?
cooking in the kitchen. I mean, we started cooking. I have 3 brothers, and we started cooking when we were like 5 or 6.
Really?
But we worked in our parents' restaurant
Yeah.
as early as age 11. So my parents had all these little knuckleheads in the kitchen cooking. I was, one was, a cook, one was a dishwasher, one was a waiter.
Yeah.
We did everything.
Nice.
We did everything.
So
So
basically,
it was
you had
great.
the game locked when you started dating, man.
Yeah.
That's like
We already know how to cook. So.
just forget the football players.
Right.
The ladies looking for the man who can cook in the kitchen.
What's funny is my father always said I wanted all my sons to know how to cook. That was important to my dad. So we all learned how to cook really early.
Cool.
Yeah.
What were some of those first flavors that just jumped to your palate and just take you back to that time?
You know what? I think when we were kids coming up, my dad had he would make this cube steak, which I have a difficult time finding now. But my father used to make this smothered cube steak that would melt in your mouth. It was ridiculous.
Man, you got me hungry
so,
over here.
So with all the flavors on our truck today, on Postcards, everything has been created organically. It's not like, we had recipes. It was like basically from my childhood understanding and having developed a palate, I've been able to create various, menu items that just kind of worked, that kind of, resonated. And I get this all the time. I get people who say, well, how do you compete with people who've gone to culinary school and everything else? Like once you have a natural palate,
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's better than having, gone to culinary school because oftentimes if people are taught the same things over and over. And you kind of lose that uniqueness about it.
Yeah.
It ain't like grandmama's, recipe that she kind of massaged and it became something amazing that nobody else can kind of tap into. So Yeah, but it's really like kind of some of the things my dad would create, and he did everything based on just sight and taste.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what I've been able to do.
A huge difference.
And I've kind of taken it to another level with Postcards because it's healthy.
Right.
We don't use any animal products. We don't use any oil in cooking any of our sides. So all of our sides are vegetarian or vegan.
Nice.
We bake all of our meats where we were accustomed to doing fried chicken and fried fish and everything, which is nothing wrong with those things. But we wanted to take it to a healthier level where we're baking everything and making sure that our customers can really enjoy the flavors of soul without getting all the calories and the other things that go with it.
Was that like basically was that something that you did business wise? Was that something you did for your own consciousness and health?
It's really because certainly because of my own health consciousness. It's the way I eat and everything, and I think it does make good business sense.
It definitely does, because usually, like, especially as African American, you want to eat soul food every day. I love soul food as well as I'm sure you do too. And so you want to eat it all the time, but you can't because of all the things that are added into it. And so
sodium and fat.
What you're doing is great because you don't feel guilty eating it. You don't feel that bad.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you can probably eat it more than.
And it's light. I mean, it's not like that stuff that's going to just get in your stomach and you're going to be
give
like,
you the
it's time to go to
items.
sleep.
Right. Right.
I'm done.
Right.
Tap out.
Totally.
Yeah. So before all of this, just when cooking was more of a recreational or a lifetime thing for you. Yeah. Before you went into this business, the culinary business. Yeah. You worked in marketing.
I did. Yeah. For years.
For NBC?
I was
Warner
at NBC.
Brothers.
I was at NBC Studios. I started my career at Warner Brothers. Give a shout out to Howard University, because when I was at Howard, I was like one of 5 students that got hired to work for Warner Brothers out of 600 students.
Wow.
So they moved me back to Los Angeles and I started working for them. Then I worked at Fox. I ultimately went over to NBC. And then I went back to grad school, got my MBA from Vanderbilt, and decided to work in brand management for a while. And then I just decided, you know what, I'm tired of working for folks. I should just do my own thing, and decided to move into this.
What's been more rewarding?
Working for myself. I mean, there are those various accolades of working and having achieved various things on the corporate side, but it's always amazing when you can get up and do this for you. Yeah. And where you can make a difference in other people's lives by providing opportunities and just being creative. So I love this a lot.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get to that point? Like, write your business plan, know what exactly you want to do, and leave marketing to food?
You know what? It was maybe a 2-year process of just kind of figuring out what's going to make the most sense. And when I finally, I think it was probably an epiphany, just kind of sitting in that room at Aloud and being like, oh, this makes sense. Now let me just, let me start putting it on paper.
Right.
So usually, I mean, traditionally, I'd say it probably took about 2 years. And I knew then, when I start running, I run fast.
Yeah.
So let's make it happen.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say that seems to be like a recurring theme because obviously you took marketing to the highest level. Most people who go into marketing don't go work for Warner Brothers and NBC and most people who try to make it to own their own business don't make it to the level of success you've already made it to,
right.
and you're still going.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So is that kind of like that? Has that always been a part of you? The relentless drive to just?
Yeah, I'm a hard worker. I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I am definitely a hard worker. I will get up early and work late, but I'm a hard worker. And I think that's the only way you can succeed, I feel like there were a number of obstacles coming up, looking like me being a black young man, and it's hard out there. And so for us, I think we do have to work harder. I think we do have to have, a constitution, and that constitution is I'm not waiting for somebody to give me a handout. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to work as hard as I can, and I'm not going to let people say I can't achieve.
Right.
You can't tell me that I can't go to this school. You can't tell me that I can't own this business or I can't do various things. I will then work as hard as I can to make sure you're wrong.
Right.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I even try to empower young men today because I want you to understand. You can, and young men in general, young African men in particular, you can do anything you want. You can get out there, and I was a single dad raising a daughter, and I always said to her, you know, you can do anything you want to do. This is your life and your journey. I never put obstacles in front of her. I was like, you can blow this up.
Yeah.
You know, and she's really been doing that. So.
Yeah, it seems with everyone we've interviewed on success, that's what everyone has said.
Yeah.
Don't ever, you know, and they tell their children, don't ever give up on your dream.
Totally.
What was the hardest or is the hardest obstacle that you've had to overcome today?
I think that, you know, what is it? What's the hardest obstacle I've had to overcome? That's a hard question because I've been able to just overcome by not thinking. I think the hardest obstacle is our own minds. You know, if we don't believe, then, and so there have been days where I've had to kind of readjust my thinking at times to say, you know what, I see this obstacle. I'm not going to focus on the obstacle. I'm going to focus on the finish line, and going beyond that. So you know, I think the only barrier I would ever face in life is those that I put in front of me, because I'm really not going to sit up here and worry about what other people put in front of me. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
Well said. Yeah, because you have to be like that. Yeah, especially when you're running your own business, you have to take that approach to I'll deal with that. I won't fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go forward and keep going and keep going and keep going. Yeah, I'm not gonna take no for an answer. Who are now one of the recurring things we also find here, every time we're speaking to the person in that chair. They always either speak to a mentor or just someone who helped them realize that it was possible. Now, you're a little different. Your father already pretty much gave you the roadmap to show you how this was done. So who were some of your other influences in that?
I will say I've probably always been really blessed, and blessed in that I had, you know, various people in my life who early on believed in me. I had an aunt who was like, he's special, he's different, he's great. And, you know, so early on in life, she would like do various things for me, you know, pay for art school or pay for this so that I could do the things that she felt I needed to or I could do. She kind of exposed me to a lot of stuff early. My dad exposed me to a lot of things early. I had a very, very loving mother. Then in terms of my career, I had people who just believed in me. When I was at Howard, I had a career counselor who was like, you can do anything you want to do, you know. And it's funny because her name is Carol Dudley, and she's still at Howard today.
Still there.
And I have a daughter who just finished her freshman year at Howard, and she's still at Howard, and she's working with my daughter now.
Oh,
you
wow.
know? So it was just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly. But she believed in me. I had some mentors at Fox. My first job I ever took at Fox, there was a woman named Leslie Pearlstein who, she met me one time and was like, I don't care what happens. You're going to interview in every department until you get a job here. Wow. You know, and the first interview I took, I got the job. So, you know, but she believed enough to say, I'm going to put you on a track. I'll have you in somebody's office every day until you get a job here because we want you here.
Yeah.
Right.
Until
you know,
you're on. Yeah.
When I was at NBC, I was working with a guy named Vince Manzi, who was like a mentor and a father to me in a sense. And Vince kind of brought me under his wing and was like, dude, you're going to come in here because we don't really have people here that look like you, you know, and I'm going to kind of mentor you and help you along the way. And I started feeling comfortable in my role working for Vince. And Vince is like the guy who was kind of attributed for the coming up with the concept of must-see TV.
Okay.
And working with him for a while, I eventually got this other guy who said, I want to hire you to, you know, work in my division, and I ended up handling all licensing and merchandising of consumer products. But at the time, I didn't want the job. I was like, I don't want that job, Vince. I just want to hang out with you. And Vince was like, dude, if you don't take this job, you're fired. You know, he was like, that's such a great opportunity for you. Until if you don't take this job, you won't have a job because I'm not gonna let you just sit here and just glide.
I'm not gonna let you get in your own way.
I want you, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and so I've had people who have pushed me and who said, I believe in you.
Yeah.
You know, so those are just some of the people from my aunt, my dad, my mom, Vince, Leslie. Yeah.
So who's your biggest fan?
My biggest fan, I kind of think as quiet as it's kept, is probably my daughter.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think it's my daughter. Yeah. We talk a lot.
Yeah.
And, she says really interesting things to me that I'm like, wow, she remembers that when she was a kid, we were just talking a couple weeks ago, and she said, Dad, I remember when I was 7 years old, and you used to have me do book reports at home. Because I'd have her read a book a week.
My dad did that to us.
Every year. Yep. Every summer. It's like, Mama, I want to go outside and play.
You got this book report you got to write first.
Yeah. Especially, I think you're a single dad, so she's probably coming over, hanging out, and then it's like, a book report, Dad?
Right.
Like, what about Chuck E. Cheese,
Right.
Disneyland?
Well, she lived with me. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she was like, Dad, I'm a great writer today because of those book reports.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I
So
think
what
maybe my
is
baby.
she doing? Marketing, food?
No. My daughter is a theater major at Howard.
Oh, okay.
She's a theater
Kudos.
major at Howard.
Kudos.
Yeah.
Nice.
And she's kick butt. She's a ninja.
Good.
I'm like, she's
And you
no
have
joke.
to be.
Yeah, she just,
Yeah.
she just got awarded a full ride for the next 3 years.
That is amazing.
wonderful.
Yeah, there's like 2 freshmen in her class, and she was the one of the 2. So,
Wow.
Tell her I said good luck in New York
you.
or Los Angeles. 'Cause
Right,
She'll be
yeah.
in one of the 2.
For sure.
Yeah, how was that for you, being a single father, working, trying to raise your daughter right, but also knowing you had these aspirations yourself? How did you approach that?
It was, I will say, it's kind of interesting because when I had my daughter, when she was very young, 2 years old, I was working at NBC, and I was traveling a lot. So every week I was on the road. I was in New York, Chicago, Vegas, whatever. And it was difficult. So a lot of times she was at my mom and dad's house. And one day I come home, she's like 3 years old, and my dad says, oh, it was so cute. He was like, Gray was like, the plane went over the house, and she's like, dearest daddy. And my father thought that was cute, and I thought this kid thinks he's never here.
Yeah,
he's always gone. At 3 years old, she knows I'm never
She
here.
already knows, yeah.
And the strangest thing is 6 months later, I quit my job. I was like, I'm going to quit this job. So I actually had another business prior to this. I had a marketing firm. But I quit my job. I started this marketing firm, and I grew it to a pretty successful place. But we did, like the unit publicity for women that are lose.
Okay.
We did the 75th anniversary DVD anniversary release of Imitation of Life.
Oh, I own that, actually.
Yeah. Did you have the double box set?
Yeah,
Okay.
with the double cover,
Yeah, exactly.
with the 39 and,
And
like
54.
50. Yeah.
Yeah, we did the marketing
Yeah.
for that. We did it in English and Spanish. We promoted it to an urban market. It was great. We worked on a lot of different things. And we did a lot of marketing for various cities throughout LA County, East LA, Compton. And that was what I chose to do so that I could spend more personal time with her.
Right.
I'd bring her to the office every day. And she would sit around and hang out with me, and she'd have her little TV and do her little thing. But
her book reports.
Because it was her book reports,
Right.
because it was important to make sure that I was around.
Yeah.
That I wasn't just like work is more important than anything else.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I've always tried to have a work-life balance.
Yeah.
I don't have any right now though, right, Mo?
Well, you still look young. You never, and having a food truck and having a kid, most people be big as a house.
Yeah, you would think, huh? Yeah, look, we're doing healthy fusion soul,
But
right?
it's healthy
Come on.
fusion. There you go. But it's healthy fusion. You're
Yeah,
right.
soul food.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yes.
Yeah. Man. Oh, man.
Did that make you laugh?
Yeah, she got me on that one. Is that the most important aspect of your life, family?
Yeah, totally. And you know what? Family is, and my career, my business is, because I feel that everyone who works with me now is family.
Mm-hmm.
I love the people that I work with. I have Monique who works with me, she does our amazing desserts.
Mm-hmm.
I see her as being my family, my sister. We've got Noelle on the truck. My daughter's working on the truck.
Oh, nice.
So it's a really healthy kind of, family-oriented environment.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that everyone is just that my people are taken care of.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is a week like owning a food truck
God.
and preparing? Walk us through
It's
all
rough.
the
Yeah.
steps
It's
of how.
a beautiful thing,
I
but
always
it's rough.
wonder because we just see you guys from the outside, and we're
It's
like,
a lot
can
of
I
work.
have this? And then we take our food and we enjoy it. But I know it has to have a lot of preparation that goes
Totally.
into it, and a whole team, like you said, behind you is like your family.
Yeah.
So what is a week like?
I think with a week is a long week because traditionally those people, us in this category of gourmet food, we work 6-7 days a week.
Okay.
And if we have one day off, that one day we're probably shopping, buying more stuff for the next day, and prepping before that next day. So it's a long day. I mean, like think about yesterday. Yesterday we had to do a location, a lunch location, early in the morning, which means that I'm generally up by 7 to prep and get on the truck by 8:30 because I need a couple hours to get everything done before I get to my location. Then you work a location. If you do a lunch location, you're traditionally there from 11 to 3. You leave that lunch location. After the lunch location, then we did a dinner location. And I'm on the truck the whole time. The dinner location was from 5 to 9. And then I had a late night location that I did from 9:30 to 2 in the morning. So it's a long day. That's a very long day. And then you get up again the very next day at 7 and start all over. So before we got here today, bam, we had a lunch location, but I had to go shop and buy things. We're cooking briskets. We're trying to make oxtails, do all these various things, and then we shot over here. And as soon as I leave here, another location
spot.
until 10 p.m. tonight.
Which he's gonna be over
And then
here.
tomorrow morning, I have to be at my location, the Revlon Run Walk at 7 a.m.
Wow.
And then we have another location tomorrow night. So you can see it's really long days and a lot of work. And thank God I've got a great kitchen and a great staff. So we can cook on the truck, knock out all the things we need to.
Do you prep on the truck too?
I do.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we prep on the truck. We do everything. So thank God for that.
Yeah.
So at least while I'm working, I'm cooking.
We should have opened up the show with Rick
You
Ross
guys should have been
hustling.
outside.
We should. I was
we should
thinking
out
we
at
should
the
have
truck.
opened up the show on the
On the
truck.
truck.
The truck.
Yeah.
This is where they live. They live
Exactly.
on
This is home.
yeah.
I see.
So
I'm
you-
on the truck longer than I'm ever
So you
at
never
home.
have to cook at home.
I don't.
You just
I
eat
never.
it.
I mean, I used to cook almost every day at home. Now I don't cook at all.
So you just eat your food every single day. on
Yeah,
the truck.
traditional. And you know what's so funny though? Most of the time, you're working so hard until you're not hungry.
Yeah, I bet.
You're
I
just
bet.
not hungry. You're just going.
How vast are your menu choices on the truck?
I will tell you. I think we have one of the best reps for delivering food quickly. We can service more than 100 customers in an hour.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we are really, really, really fast.
Wow.
We knock it out the park. We really, really do. We've worked on productions and everything where they're like, our people, they have 30 minutes to eat, and we need you to feed 200 people. And we will get in there and we will knock it out.
Wow.
We work really hard. We get food out really quickly. It's funny though, because with the food truck business, you got to play a game, which I hate to say, but and I'm not really that good at playing this game because I'm more into efficiency. But a lot of trucks, what they do is they'll line up people and and they have a line, and when people see a line, they're like, oh, that must be good food,
Right.
And because that's good food, they've got a line. With us, because we serve so fast, so quickly. It's like somebody will walk by and say, is that good? Because they don't have a line. But we're getting you out so quickly. We could literally have 10 people in line and 5 minutes later they're gone. Where other people are waiting 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't really like to play a game of making our customers wait. I'm like, you guys work hard. You've come here. You want to eat. You need to get back for lunch or whatever. Let's just knock this out, get you out the door and keep it pushing, and you're still going to get a great meal.
Right.
So it's kind of like a funny thing. If you go to a truck and you see a long line, it may be strategy, more so than good
Well, now
food.
we know. Now I know.
Now I know. Because, I'm not going to name any of the trucks, but on Wednesday evenings at the Costco on Sepulveda, they always have a bunch of trucks out here every night. And they always have these long lines, these super long lines. And I've only been over there one time. But now that makes sense as to why, because I'm always thinking like, wow, this is such an odd place for a bunch of trucks to just park and start selling food, but that would definitely create a nice strategy to make people, oh, there's a lot of people over there, let me go and see.
It's a marketing ploy. It really is. Some trucks, it's real. I mean, it takes a little longer. Others, it's a marketing ploy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I just don't like it. I want my people to eat.
Yeah, you want to
fast,
fight.
you
Yeah,
know?
because your customer feels great if I walk up and I order something that I think should take 10 minutes or 5 minutes, and
Bam.
4.5 minutes later, boom, here it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
A lot of times people will, we'll have someone at the window and they'll take the order, and I'm listening while they're taking the order, and before
already
they walk
started.
away, I'm handing them the meal and everything, and I'm like, oh God, that was fast. Wow.
yeah.
That's
So
it.
your truck is catchy.
Yeah,
and
thank
what
you.
does the symbol on the side mean?
Well, we've got, you know what I wanted to do? I really wanted the truck to showcase the overall African diaspora. So where you have this amazing art, people will stop by and they'll take pictures of the truck, with tourists, whatever. But I'm into faces and diversity and so forth. So the faces are nondescript, but they show you the beauty of the African diaspora. So if you look at the truck and you look at the art on the truck, it's going to showcase something that could be your dad or your mom or your sister, or you could be Latin American and African American and Asian American. It could be a number of different things, but just showing that our food it's universal.
Yeah.
And it reaches out to it. The goal is for it to touch all cultures, and so that's why you see the art on the truck.
It's nice.
Thank you. And then we wanted to really compartmentalize soul. We wanted people to understand that soul is not something that's hard to get. You don't have to because most of the time you find it in only urban areas.
Right.
So the truck made sense so that we could go and and share it with everybody.
Right.
One, two, most people feel like I got to sit down and have a big meal and everything. So what we've done is we've made it easy for you to eat. You can eat it in a wrap, or you can eat it in a bowl.
Right.
So you can take it with you and go. And our biggest seller on the menu, we have an item called the Greatest. It's a pulled beef brisket with mac and cheese and kale. Served. Most people like it served in a wrap or like a burrito form. It's a killer. It's a great seller. Or our signature, which is baked chicken with macaroni and cheese and collard greens. And people love it. But you can, like I mentioned, you can just take it on the go. Yeah, thank you.
That would be mine choice.
Yeah.
And then the whole menu, we focused on just celebrating African American
That's
historians.
what I was going to say. So tell us about all the titles of your food. I know they're named after all the greatest.
Yeah, we have, the greatest, of course, is Muhammad Ali. Yep. We have Alice's Final Word. There's Alice Walker, a writer, The Color Purple. We have Barbara Jordan. So we have Barbara's Verdict. What is it? Miss Jordan's Verdict.
Okay.
Which really kind of focused on the fact that she was a politician, a lawyer, so kind of playing on words with her being her verdict.
And what's in that?
Miss Jordan's Verdict is actually it's a vegetarian option. So you can have it's dirty rice and beans, mac and cheese, and collard greens served in either the wrap or the bowl.
Okay.
We have. We've got a number of different things. We've got the Renaissance, which kind of honors and celebrates the Harlem Renaissance, which is another vegan option, which is kale, cabbage, and collard greens served in a wrap or bowl. And we just did a movie a couple weeks ago, and one of the options they wanted was a vegan option. So we did the Renaissance, and people came back to us and said, it's a hit or miss with vegan.
Yeah.
So we were like, we were
Yeah.
scared, and they were like, this by far is the best vegan meal I've ever had.
Really?
So we got some really great compliments, and then they went and tweeted.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you, we know our people. This is Black Hollywood Live. We know our people, and they hear the word vegan. They, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. But you were actually able to not only sell it, but have them love it.
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely.
That's important to us.
Yeah.
It is so important to us to make sure that, and important to me, to make sure that the customer is completely satisfied.
Right.
I'm very serious about that. That's, and I think that's something that came from my dad. He was very passionate about making sure that people who ate his food loved it. And so, that's what we try to deliver.
What's your favorite dish that you make?
I actually have to say I like our baked chicken.
Okay.
I like the dirty rice and beans, the kale and the baked chicken combo. That's not actually a combo on our menu because you can kind of mix and match what you want outside of our signature items that I mentioned, Alice and, Miss Jordan's Verdict, so forth and so on. But I like those combinations together. That kind of makes me happy.
Yeah, that's what makes me happy too.
Definitely.
Okay, so I went on Yelp.
Okay.
And I wanted to see.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. No, because Yelp
What did the
now
customer say?
is everything. Yelp, you go on Yelp for anything to see what customers are saying.
That's it.
So I read a review that was up yesterday.
Oh wow.
So you probably don't even know about this one.
it.
But the guy, the for short, because he had a long review. He just said that he came and he tried the oxtails.
Okay.
And he said that it was one of his favorite, like the oxtails were amazing, that now he feels like he needs to sell his Xbox and his PlayStation and all of his valuables because now it's an addiction for him.
Wow.
And I don't eat beef or pork, but I was like, man.
You want to try these oxtails?
Yeah, I was like,
Right.
I'm going to have to try. I hope he brings some oxtails today, which you didn't.
Oh God, I wish.
But we're going to come to you because everyone on Yelp only had great stuff to say. You had mainly all 5 stars.
Thank you.
And all the things, I was like dirty rice, collard greens, mac and cheese, oxtails, the brisket, and then cilantro ranch.
Yeah, so we do a really great cilantro Caesar dip.
Okay.
That goes with our, we serve it with our sweet potato fries. We do plantain chips, which are fantastic. We do them very different. We do them very different than anyone else. I've never ever seen them done this way, and people flock to them.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, you have a good following, and
thank you.
marketing too. I mean, it's good for. Do you market your own self, or do you have a marketing team?
Well, we've got Edna Sims, who is our publicist and who takes care of us. We get out there every day as the team, and we post on social media, letting people know where we're going to be, and and we pop up pictures so you can see the food and see happy customers and stuff like that. So yeah.
What do you want to take?
It's collaborative.
I know you said eventually into a restaurant, but what's your final vision?
Well, when I wrote the business plan, really the focus is to build a franchise. Yeah, because the reality is people do need to understand, just like any other cultural food, that soul food is a food that everyone loves.
Yeah.
Most people grew up with it in some form, and it is food that can be celebrated everywhere, and it can be easily, attained. I feel like we can certainly be, the soul food Chipotle.
Yeah,
I really do.
No, you really, because the whole concept, like you have the bowl, you have the burrito, and then you have all the things that you can put inside and to be able to pick what you want. I was thinking on the way here, I'm like, okay, I would get greens, macaroni and cheese, the baked chicken in a burrito, wrap it up and
That's
eat
the
it.
signature.
And it sounds amazing. It sounds like
you.
when you put it together, you're like a burrito, and then it's like, but it actually, you see the picture and it all comes together, and it looks amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had skeptics who are like, I'm not eating no greens and no burrito. I'm not having. And then they do it. They try it. They take a chance, and they're like, oh my God, I'm completely in love. Or they'll start, tweeting, this is by far my favorite food truck of all food trucks, and that's saying a lot. One lady said, we go to Abbott Kinney every month, first Friday, and she was like, we had the greatest. And this is my favorite food truck out of all the food trucks here now. And that's saying a lot, considering they have a lot of great trucks in Abbott Kinney.
Wow, yeah.
So we were like, wow, love that.
And that's not an African-American area
Exactly.
for people that are viewing from other states.
Yeah.
It's not really a lot of Black people. And so soul food, in a white area really is hard to sell.
Yeah.
But,
And our and I will say, we have a very, very, very diverse customer base.
Yeah.
We have a very diverse customer base. And I'm telling you, people from all walks will come back. We have had people, right, Monique? We have literally had people who have, they were visiting. They were a tourist visiting in Venice. One guy was a tourist. He was visiting from the Bay Area, was at Venice Beach. We were there one day. He had the food. The next time he was in town, he's tweeting, where's Postcards? Where's Postcards? We tell him we're in Glendale. He was in Santa Monica. He was like, God, the food was so good. I almost feel tempted to drive to Glendale from Santa Monica. We get a text and he was like, I'm on my way. I'll be there. And he's texting us. I mean, he's tweeting, not texting. He's tweeting the whole time, make me number 2 and number 3.
No.
And I'll pick it up when I get there. And we literally stayed there and waited.
Really?
Because we were like, if you were that deep and serious about it,
drive.
you know, we're going to take care of you.
What time of
That's
day?
what I'm gonna say.
This was like we were scheduled to leave our location at 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed until 2:30 and waited on this guy because he was serious about it.
See,
you know,
that's real.
And that's a good hour drive.
Totally, but he made that trip. And remember the one woman from Orange County? She was like, I've been searching for you guys. We were downtown LA. She drove from Orange County with her baby. We were at a bar, too. We were working a bar.
No.
They would not let her child into the bar, of course.
Yeah.
It was a toddler.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let her baby in. And what was so funny is she let the bouncer hold her baby outside, and she placed an order for 4 items. And then went back to Orange County.
Oh, I saw their review on Yelp. I saw their review on Yelp, and they were saying the parent said, "Mommy, is there any more food left over from the club last night?" And that's what it says on Yelp from the club. Yeah.
Postcards.
That was isn't that crazy?
That is hilarious.
You know how far Orange County is from downtown?
Yeah. Wow.
That was deep. We were like, okay, we are in love with you now.
Yeah. She said, here, do it, man. Just take my baby. I got to get these oxtails. Wow.
Amazing.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, because I'm curious, because I've gotten a lot of people have different definitions of this because it means so much to our culture. Okay. But what is soul food to you?
Soul food is family. Soul food is home. Soul food is comfort. I mean, and I don't mean comfort food. It celebrates our heritage. Just like when you think about Mexican food and how it's been used and, and everyone has, kind of turned it into their own thing, and you can go everywhere and find various versions of it. That's what soul food is. It's something that should be celebrated in that same light. It's cultural, and it's a feel-good type of food, and it's our roots. And I, as an African-American man, want people to celebrate us and celebrate us through the food we create and everything. And I think sometimes people haven't. They've disregarded it. They think it's, it's going to give me a heart attack and this, that. And no, it isn't. It can be prepared in such a way until you get the same flavors that you got from grandma's cooking, without all the fat and all the other content. But it also celebrates us. And that's so important, don't you think? I think it's so important.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's so important, and I think it keeps us relevant.
Yeah,
because food keeps people relevant.
For
Culture
sure.
is relevant. And it keeps us relevant.
Food and music are always
For sure.
those cultural impact points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can cross culture, and
Totally.
and that's definitely what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And especially if your food's putting that big of smiles on people's faces.
Yeah. When people leaving their babies at the door at the club.
If you driving 45 miles from our food, then we must be doing
Then
something
you're doing
right.
something right.
Doing it right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I see on your website you have a schedule. So is that your set schedule of where
That
we
has
can
been. Actually, I'm
usually
going to
find
change it.
you?
I'm going to change it because we've actually been, kind of reevaluating and shifting locations too, because we want to be able to share our food with more people. So where we had standard locations we would always go to, there are more people who are finding out about us, who want to learn, who want to eat the food. So we want to, go to more locations and experience some new things ourselves.
Yeah.
So what we do, and we tell people, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, go to Postcards, CAS, and, find us there. And we tweet every morning or we Facebook every morning and let you know where we are.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you're usually out every day.
We're out traditionally every day. Maybe one day a week that we just need a break.
Yeah.
Okay.
He needs to rest. And on the 7th day.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
But hey, if some good gigs, I'm getting up.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to work these. There have been times where I've had to work straight through 21 days, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah. It's
We've got customers who want the food and, who want to bring us to, we do catering jobs. We do a number of different things, but we work hard. So I'm like, I'll get out there.
How important has social media been in advertising and marketing yourself?
It's important. I think with the the food phenomenon, I think when it first started, it was more important. There's so many trucks out there now, you can kind of get stuck in the minutia of just all these tweets. But for those individuals who want to find you every day, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
and we don't tweet 1,000 times a day.
Right.
We're not just popping up everything. We're letting you know what locations we're at each and every day, and we're letting you know if we've got a great special.
Right.
Sometimes, for St. Patrick's Day, we did an amazing corned beef.
Oh, you did?
We did a corned beef wrap with cabbage and mac and cheese that sold off the shelf.
Really?
We do a crazy soup sometimes that's like, we do a squash soup with chicken sausage, and it's but it tastes like a gumbo.
Yeah.
It's but it's really healthy and it's crazy that people fall in love with.
I like
So
you're
every
singing
once in a while
like
we
a
do
love
some
song
different.
to me right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you singing a love song to me right now? And then I'm like, and then what's for dessert?
Apple raspberry cobbler.
Okay, so you guys have desserts on your truck
We
too.
do amazing, as I mentioned, Monique, she does an amazing apple raspberry cobbler. We do peach cobbler. We do pineapple cobblers. We do, oh my God, the best thing in the world to me is she does these amazing pops. She does a red velvet pop. She does like the lemon pop, different, but those cake
Small,
pops.
yeah.
The cake,
They make you
and they are
jump.
so moist.
Yeah. What?
And it's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Ridiculous.
Moist cake is the best
It's
cake.
it's so amazing.
We're about to be out here in your truck.
And I parked right by you.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
I'm
can I
right-
just
I'm
smell the fumes of the food?
I'm like right behind you. Like the truck, you, the alley, and then me parked right there. Yeah, we gonna be on this truck tonight.
Damn. Yeah, meet us out at, what is it, 17866 Chatsworth.
Tonight.
Oh,
Tonight
yeah,
in Granada
the valley.
Hills.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I might
where
make that
can we find you, social media wise? What are all your handles?
We are at Postcards with plural. Postcards CAS.
All of Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
Final advice for
Pinterest.
Yeah. Tumblr.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Any final advice for any other entrepreneurs out there, young guys who are growing in the game, and regardless of what their area of expertise is, but any advice or words for them?
Yeah, I would say that, especially if you look like me, if you're a African American and you're getting out there and you're developing a business, write the business plan. Write the business plan, have a strong focus, and then if you know that the day is going to come where you're ultimately, and even if it's not, where you're going to ultimately establish your business, support other Black business. I think it's so important. I think that's something we've lost in our community, so other people outside of our community support us, which is a great thing, but we should support each other. And I try to make it a point of going out every week and buying something from a Black business owner.
Oh, nice.
Because it's a challenge for Black businesses today to really, really succeed. So we as a people need to also support our businesses. A lot of times someone who looks like me will walk right past a truck and not even give it a chance. And that saddens me sometimes, not because I feel like I should have every Black customer.
Right, yeah.
But because at least I should learn what this person has to offer and then say, you know what, that's not what I'm looking for. But I'm glad I know you're here, that you're out here. So at least go and support by learning what's going on with other Black businesses. So that's what I could say. Learn as much as you possibly can about other Black businesses, support them, and also if you're going to do this, really, really get out there and have a solid game plan. That means put it on paper. And when you get out there, then also be the very best you can be in your space. Because people immediately will judge you based on whether or not you're good or bad.
Wow.
And you have to be. Yeah.
We do.
That's true.
Totally.
Raise your game up. You have to. You have to. Especially if you look like us.
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess we will draw that to a close.
I know.
I
Thank
want
you,
some
guys.
Food.
Me too.
Let's do that.
So you'll be tonight in Chatsworth.
Come and see us, please. Come
and
on
if you're
by.
in the LA area, and then
What hours,
tomorrow.
though?
Tomorrow, like I said, we'll be. I'm sorry.
What hours for tonight?
Tonight will be. Well, what time is it now? 5 to 9:30.
Okay.
On Chatsworth. 17. It's 866
Okay.
Chatsworth. Tomorrow we'll be doing the Revlon Run Walk, which is at the Coliseum downtown. And tomorrow night we'll be at Santa Monica High School.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, Santa Monica High School for See Eat Here, which is a fantastic, outdoor cinema event where doors open at 5:30. There's going to be live music at 7, 8:30. The movie starts, and tomorrow
Classical movies, right?
all classic movies. I know we're participating. It's going to be 500 Days of Summer tomorrow night.
Oh, nice.
We'll be participating at one that's going to be Purple Rain. And
nice.
different things. So yeah.
Yeah.
Purple Rain
Okay,
and
cool.
soul
Right.
food.
Yes.
Exactly.
You got me.
Bam.
You got me.
Well, thank you guys
right,
so
yeah.
much for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Here
Yeah.
today and putting smiles on our faces. Like, food is definitely love.
Yeah,
so
it is.
you've shown a lot of love to us today, and we
Definitely.
appreciate that.
Thank you very much. You and your entire team.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Definitely. And English, where can everybody find you on
You can
Twitter?
find me, Twitter.
Yep.
I always forget
on
my
Twitter and Instagram. You have two different ones.
I know. Here we go. Twitter is Speak English, and then on Instagram it's Pink English, and then on Facebook it's English Cleveland.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, you guys got that? She needs to say it again? Or do we need to? We may do a lower third on that.
You want me to do it again? English Speaks, Pink English, English Cleveland. Happy
Cool.
Friday.
And you can always find me on Twitter at Rome the Ruler. Please come talk to me, drop comments, whatever. I do respond. You can also find me on IG. That's Instagram for the non-cool people under Empire of Rome with underscores between the words. This has been another great episode of Success is the New Black. I want to thank Mr. Greg King for
Thanks,
coming
guys.
through, the Postcards truck, the entire team. This has been another episode of Success is the New Black on Black Hollywood Live.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.
Thanks for watching Black Hollywood Live on YouTube. For more in-depth interviews and news, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion in the comment section below here. See you soon, everyone. Bye.